The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we as a people are inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Number 5. MKUltra. Starting in 1953 and run through 1973, the U.S. government ran a program known by a lot of different names, but most of us know it as MKUltra. Ran by the CIA in special coordination with the U.S. Army Special Operations Division, MKUltra's ultimate goal was to achieve mind control. They attempted this goal through several different means, such as hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, and verbal and sexual abuse, but it's most cheaply known for the use of drugs, primarily LSD. They experimented on unknowing and unwilling civilians as well as soldiers. All this prompted eventually an apology from the President of the United States. MKUltra is a prime example of the evils the government can do when allowed to do as they wish, unchecked by its people. Many of the survivors of these experiments still struggle with them to this day. Although you can find much of this through Freedom of Information Act requests, but much of the information on MKUltra has been destroyed, and likely we'll never know its full scope.
Number 4. British Psychic Terrorist Hunters. Shortly after the terrorist attacks of 9/11, the British Ministry of Defense, in conjunction with a redacted, interested third party, began investigating the possibility of using people who claim to have the ability to remote view. A psychic phenomenon in which a person attempts to view a person, place, or an object somewhere else in the world. The British government wanted to investigate the possibility of using remote viewers in response to the growing threat of terrorism and threats of weapons of mass destruction. You can actually see the results of the study on the ministry's website. Several targets are redacted, with only control images unredacted, such as picture of a wine glass or a picture of Mother Teresa. Per the official published study, the majority of the subjects failed to access their target in any degree, although some of the remote viewers were believed to have accessed the target in some degree. Although, if the British government had stumbled upon individuals with the ability to remote view terrorist cells or hidden nuclear weapon facilities, do you really think they'd want that news to be public?
Number 3. Nina Kulagina. Nina Kulagina was studied throughout the last 20 years of her life by the USSR. They were attempting to look into claims that she had telekinetic powers. There are several videos of her out there in black and white of her demonstrating her telekinetic powers. Amongst of her claims are the ability to separate egg white from yolk without cracking an egg, being able to move things without touching them, and in the most notable case, being able to stop the beating heart of a frog. The true motives of the USSR for this training is not fully known, but it's strongly believed that they're training her for long-distance assassinations. There are many people out there quick to claim that Nina was a charlatan, or that these videos were just faked by the USSR to throw off the Western world. Even though there are some points where it'd be good to shine some scrutiny on some of her actions, one of the things that I'd say, do you really think the USSR would waste that much time and money on her if they didn't think there was something to it?
Number 2. Chinese Centers for Gifted Youths. In 1981, the Chinese government utilized over 100 centers across China to study children with reported paranormal abilities. These abilities included remote viewing, telepathy, psychokinesis, clairvoyance, and more. The results were mostly unsuccessful, with a few notable exceptions. a woman named Chulin's son was reportedly found to be able to speed up the growth of plants. While going into a deep, trance-like state, she was reportedly able to speed up the sprouting times of different plants. Plants that would normally take 4 to 5 days to grow 3 to 4 inches, she could consistently make these plants sprout to 3 to 4 inches in 20 minutes. Another reported person with paranormal abilities was the famed Zhang Baoshen. One of Zhang's reported abilities was he was able to smell a sealed letter and learn its contents. His far more remarkable accomplishments involved moving objects in and out of sealed containers. In one experiment, a small piece of paper was placed inside a sealed test tube. After 5 minutes, with scientists observing and videotaping from various angles, the pieces of paper somehow appeared outside of the tube despite the fact that the test tube was still sealed and undamaged. Zhang went on to repeat this feat with other small objects, like paper clips and even live insects. Although Zhang was arrested in 1995 for some fraudulent claims about some of his abilities, it still begs the question, what other abilities did some of these children have that the Chinese government found?
Number 1. Project Stargate. Sometimes known as Gondala's Wish, Grill Flame, Center Lane, or Sunstreak, Project Stargate was a U.S. Army-funded investigation into potential psychic phenomena in military and domestic intelligence applications. Although for the most part what's discussed in Project Stargate is remote viewing, the participants who left the program said it went far beyond that, looking into aspects of teleportation, telekinetic killing, and many other aspects of the psychic and strange phenomena that was believed could be utilized through military use. It ran from 1972 to 1995, and the official report was that it was shut down due to no notable information found of value, although statisticians looking back at the research showed that there is certainly something going on there. Interesting enough, this was only closed down when the U.S. public became aware of the project, leading many to speculate it didn't truly end. It just needed to go underground, away from the prying eyes of the public. Okay guys, I know we had to go through these kind of quick, but I'd love to explore these further in a case file. If there's one that you'd like to hear about, just post it below.
If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And, of course, keep believing.
Because we'll keep listening.